Upside down. What happened? What happened? Why are we upside down?
That's funny right there. Fix it for me, will you, kid? Alright.
Alright.
Let's go back to where we started. Let's go back. Make sure it's not hitting the volume button, Katie.
It says it's down. Oh, now we're sideways. What is going on? Oh, there we go.
There's a very good view of my hand.
There we go. Okay.
Streaming. We might be back.
Okay. We're back. Oh, Hidden Feathers first this time.
Hey, there we go.
Alright.
Kate, I need you to fix the camera because it's stuck on the button there. The volume button. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
There we go. All right, so we're back.
There we go.
It took us a second to figure that out. I don't know what happened, but I think getting that phone call was probably the biggest problem. So, thanks for being patient with us. I thought I had fallen and couldn't get up. Hey, anything's possible.
Okay. All right.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming
back, guys.
Sorry about that.
Do I need to be off of mine?
No, I just think we need to, everybody else in the house needs to be off it, and hopefully no one else will try to call me while I'm in the middle of this thing.
Yeah.
At some point we'll get an upgrade in our technology, but anyway, I have a couple other things I want to talk about other than urban homesteading. I wanted to ask everyone out there about some of the homesteading experiences they've had and what context they're in homesteading. So if you live in a rural community, what's that like for you, and how do you guys homestead? But also, if you live in a suburban community, how is homesteading received? And then if you live in a urban community, how is that received? And just get some conversation going around about that. And while we're still, people are rejoining us and trying to figure out what the heck just happened, I'm choosing to blame YouTube for the glitch. I am too. That's right. They have been a little bit difficult lately, but that's all right. We are. I'm reading this book right now called Self-Sufficiency on a Shoestring, and it is not the most updated thing in the world. There's a link to get it on Amazon if you're interested in I don't know if you can see it or not, but there it is. There you go. It has a lot of concepts in there about the varieties of sustainable living, and it talks about urban foraging and dumpster diving.
Pam can see it in yours now. Okay,
Yay.
I have to tell you, I have an aunt that she's passed away now, but she was like world champion dumpster diver.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she could find amazing stuff, and I can remember her husband was a property manager for apartment complexes. And there was one time he was driving by with the guy that worked with him in the office, and this guy, he pointed out, he was like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe people?" He goes, "Look at that woman. All you can see is her butt hanging out of the top of that dumpster." And my uncle said nothing because he recognized that butt. That was my aunt's butt. But the woman could take, and she has a daughter. My cousin Rhonda is like this too, where they will find something sitting along the side of the road or something like that and take it, and it's beat up and it's battered and it's ugly.
Danny B.
And hey, Danny. And they will make it into something beautiful. I mean, my Aunt Pam was incredibly talented. My cousin Rhonda, she is even more so.
Okay, we got a couple live stream things.
Okay.
Here we go. So, Hen Feather Homestead, I think that so many are streaming right now. It shuts the lines. I think you're right. There's a lot of people. It's Friday night, and they're probably doing some similar things to us. Nancy Briggs says, "I'm in an apartment and grow vegetables in containers." I love that.
Yes.
I think that is phenomenal. And in an apartment, we spent a lot of time in apartments when we were first married.
And like somebody else who does apartment gardening is Jonathan over at Lone Star Living.
Yep, and he's here. He's on the line.
Yeah, he was just talking about that.
Yep.
And that I am always amazed by people who do that, because I didn't start planting stuff until after we kind of had a place of our own. Years after we had a place of our own. But trying to do what you can in the space that you have. I think is just very. I honestly think sometimes that those people can teach a lot of people a lot more things because they have a very limited resource to work with.
Hen Feather, your question is, did you mention the Azure
Farm Crisis before I came out? No, we didn't.
And I don't know what that is.
That is, they are an organic farm out in, is it Oregon or Washington or something? It's out that way. And they have something, it has to do with, I think the county is telling them, and they've been an organic farm for I think 20 years.
Yeah.
That they have to spray for what they call noxious weeds, which is morning glories, Canadian thistle, and there was one other one. And but if they spray, they're no longer an organic farm anymore.
Right.
So, and the county is kind of telling them this is what you have to do, and you have to pay for it. So
state law trumps
county law, or well, it kind of trumps township
local
law in Ohio that we know, because we have friends that the Resistance Chicks have been fighting their township for 4 years now, and they've gotten notices and told that they've been fined and they've not had to pay one fine. And because they are well versed in the laws of what's going, like they can tell you exactly the law number that they have worked with, but it's kind of the government overreaching, and there is I believe Zach from
Homestead the Pioneer Way says, I make those to set my hot foods on the table. Nice work.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, those are just as good. Yeah, I think there's a lot of resources on YouTube for when your local government overreaches, and how do you, I hate the word fight it because it makes it sound like you're going to battle, but I guess you really are.
It makes you sound like that you're the one being a jerk.
Yeah.
But you're really not. You're just you're doing what you're doing on your own land. And but I will tell you, like Zach over at An American Homestead, he posted something on Facebook about it, and he's way more versed in it than I am. I've just been reading through it, and there is a person that you can email, and he has all those links over there. So, and I just read about it, like just probably about an hour ago. So, that's what I know about it right now.
Yep.
But, it's just, I'm just of the belief that if it's on your land and you're doing it, as long as it is not
illegal or immoral, then well, even illegal doesn't fit, but
well, it depends on what illegal is. If illegal is growing your own food or catching rainwater, which some places it's illegal for you to harvest rainwater, because I'm like, who owns the rain? I believe God does. I don't know, but
and I agree with you, Lone Star. Homesteaders need to be well versed in laws, otherwise we're going to always run into those issues. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just now getting used to some of that stuff. The urban foraging idea of going around and picking through dumpsters isn't really anything that we've done, but I have done some unique things, like I'm totally switching gears here, sorry.
That's all right.
Is that all right? Okay. I'm totally going to switch gears.
Yours is Craigslist.
Yeah, what I will do is we'll drive through some neighborhoods where the military live, and when they have to bail because the government says you're shipped over to somewhere else, they have to ditch everything. And there have been times where they've ditched entire living room sets, and we've picked them up and taken them to Goodwill or taken them to a family that's needed them, or used them in a context of our own. But Craigslist, if you type in free stuff, welcome back to Box Lover. Colleen Palmer's here. If you go into Craigslist and you type in free stuff, you'll see all the junk that people leave on the side of their roads. But part of us doing upcycling is the idea that we can take some of that stuff and use it to the good. And so we were out one time and we found a composter. I was looking through Craigslist, and this guy had cleared out his apartment and was getting rid of everything.
But I'm not sure how he had a composter in an apartment.
Well, it was
It
was a townhouse with a backyard.
Okay.
It was a townhouse with a backyard.
I'm like, how do you do that in an apartment? Because this was one of the ones that sat on the ground, so that makes more sense. Townhouse.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. And so we found cinder blocks. We found I don't ever pick up like
Hidden Feather says I guess she calls it junkin. Junkin.
Junkin. Yeah. I don't usually pick up stuff that's been sitting out for a long period of time, and I'm very, very careful not to pick up couches and chairs
and
mattresses that I know have been in some scary places. So you really have to discern what you're picking up and what you're going to use it for. We have gone on Craigslist, found stuff, and used it in our everyday life, like cinder blocks, like bricks. Let's see. For anyone dealing with chat freeze, it could be your PC is scheduled for a Friday night maintenance and updates. From what I understand, those weeds are edible.
Yeah, which kind of doesn't
Mother
make
of many
them,
horses is on.
doesn't make them noxious weeds. Then
Right,
if you can
right.
eat them, they
if you
have
can
a
eat
use.
them, they're okay. So I think that's loopy-loo, but whatever. So I just think maybe there is some urban and suburban contexts where we need to help people open up their mind a little bit. I get the idea that people are moving into the conveniences and that the stores and all that are they're just feeling what's the word I'm looking, catered to. But I don't think that's healthy for us as a society. I think we need to keep our thumb on the idea that if you take cream and you put it in a jar and you have your kids shake it for a really long time, it makes butter, and that's okay to eat. You can make your own mayonnaise. You can make your own barbecue sauce, although that's a little bit easy.
Well, we're not really barbecue people.
We're not barbecue people, so.
It's an every once in a while thing with us. Oh, shoot, I did that
Dresser
wrong.
and ended up. Yeah, you do. Danny B, you're absolutely right. You have to be careful. Her sister nabbed a dresser and ended up with bed bugs, and you don't want that. You don't want that at all. But the stuff that you can use outside, if it's clean, could be phenomenal. Like, here's an upcycling project that we did. We had someone donate to us a cabinet. A TV cabinet. It was solid. It's like solid oak. It wasn't one of those cheap ones where you peel it back and it's got the particle board in it. It was solid oak. And it was incredible. We were able to turn that into a brooder, and we hatched a bunch of chicks from it. And so the top part, we just put a piece of wood up with a little bit of fence and threw broody mama in there with her eggs, and she just sat them. Oh, by the way, tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to start checking our broody mama for baby chicks.
Yep. She's sitting on a clutch of eggs. We've got a Silky who, I told you guys in the live feed, she was trying to hatch some golf balls.
Yep.
And she didn't understand that you can't hatch golf balls. So we got some fertile eggs. And
they're wishing you happy Mother's Day, Pam Walker.
Thank you.
You just have to be sure to check. She failed to inspect it. A good once over is enough to make sure you're safe, at least with something like a dresser, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more. Where's our ADD going to take us right now?
I don't know.
All right. So let's go to Simply Living. Shifting gears out of the urban environment and into like the house and the backyard and I believe in community and want to continue to talk about that. So if you have things to bring to the table, bring it. But I'm thinking about simply living and right now in the house that we live in, we're not overindulging too much on anything, although we probably could do a better job of cutting back. One of the concepts in this book that we talked about is a self-sufficiency on a shoestring. If you just joining us, that's the book we're talking about. Hen Feathered Homestead is, I saw wholesome
Roots use a baby pen for a brooder.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
That would totally work. I mean,
one of the things they talk about is simplify your living. Like, do you really need to have a television and cable? Obviously, to do some of what we do, we have to have the internet. And even that, we're simplifying. I think it's something like $45 a month for what we do. And do we need a light on, or can we use a lamp, like an oil lamp or a battery powered
do you have any
lamp?
pictures of that brooder? Because Colleen's asking about that.
I don't, unfortunately.
We had it somewhere.
Yeah.
We actually, hold on, let me.
I don't have any pictures of it right now, unfortunately.
Let me
they're
look
all
through
in,
some of our stuff. So I'm going to be off the thing right now, but I'll see if I can find some. But go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. What kind of extras do we need to live with? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers here. This is the first year I want to have my mom. Oh, I bet. Anyway, what was I talking about? Simply living, that's it. When you look around your house, what are some ways that you can start peeling back on some of the things that you use? Well, there's a couple of ideas that I've had, and I know my wife is going to kill me for saying this, but when we are cooking dinner, we are cooking for 6 or 7 people. Mm-hmm. And if we go outside and we use the propane stove or we use just wood and we cook over the fire, it takes in a whole lot less energy. And so learning how to cook with cast iron, learning how to cook over open flame is a benefit to the end of your pocketbook, and not just to the fact that you're learning how to do things do sustainable living. I feel like, I need to stop for a second. Homestead the Pioneered Way, I did not realize that you were saying that you were missing your mom, and I'm sorry for your loss. So I didn't mean to breeze past that and ignore it. I know that can be a very difficult time. So I am totally letting my ADD take over, folks. I apologize. But I would say, why not look at your life and go, how stripped down can I make this? I understand that not all of us are going to do it like Zach and Jamie do it, although they're great models for how to live like that, and I think that's why they're being sought out by a lot of these TV shows and a lot of things. But in our own personal life, I know for me, we're going to try some stuff that's going to work for us and some things that aren't. One of the things that Heather and I have talked about is we need a fridge. We need a refrigerator. But we might not need a huge refrigerator or a deep freeze if we get into the whole freeze-dried food and some of that stuff. Let's Colleen Palmer's saying something. With your next upcycle project, be sure to chronicle on Pinterest, then add link back to your Goin Batty biz link. That's a great idea. Yeah. That is a very smart idea, Colleen Palmer. Thank you. And so, being able to dry stock items versus putting them in the fridge is a concept that we're working with, because the energy that you save, that we could save, could be a big deal. Yeah. And so we're entertaining, isn't that?
That was not it.
Sorry, my ADD's getting the best of me.
I think I might find it.
Nancy Briggs, thank you. My parents have been gone a long time, and I still miss them on holidays, their birthdays. It's okay to miss them. It is totally okay to miss them.
I lost my dad to cancer 5 years ago, right? 2 weeks after we moved to Maryland. Yep. And I still miss him. It still hurts. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's okay to do that here. This is the place. Yeah. So, there's a couple of thoughts going through my head about how can we strip down and simplify our life. Where do we use most of our energy? And I guess that's a pragmatic guy thing. that we're just thinking through how can we strip things down. But I know there are some things that we could try that would make our bills smaller. And some of our big stuff is
Homestead
Bandana
Tessie.
Grandma's here.
Yay! I loved your apple pie video.
Apple pie.
Homestead Tessie did a thing where she talked about, if you're not sure if you can do kind of, going off grid, she goes, just shut off certain breakers in your house. Like ones that you're not using. Like if you have I don't know, like the basement garage and something else all on one breaker, just shut that one off.
Yep.
Or if you don't want your kids in their room, shut the breaker off to their room. And then they either sit in the dark or they come outside. So
well, and a rule we've kind of instilled here in this temporary situation that we're in is if you leave your light on, you lose your light bulb.
Yeah.
And we have a guard dog that makes sure that if we leave our lights on, she'll take out the light bulb, which I love. I think it's hilarious and it helps the kids remember.
I can't find that.
But
I swore we had pictures of it.
Well, we'll find it later.
So, okay. Sorry.
And so just simplifying our life looks like this. The big machines we have to stop using. We use the air conditioner way too early.
Here's my thing. I would give up air conditioning before I would give up the washer because we have a lot of laundry in our house.
Yeah.
The kids can go outside and spray themselves with the hose.
Yes, absolutely. And it doesn't hurt any to figure out ways to just simplify our life. And so I think that's the challenge in front of us, is how can we simplify our life and bring things down so that they're more affordable. Right now we're looking at an electric bill right now of $200, and I know that we are using a lot of hot water. We're using a lot of we're doing a lot of laundry. Those are all things where the machine we're cooking out of the stove. Those are all things that are pulling energy. And what are some ways that we could live simply? Well, let's even go to the extras. Let's go to the extras that we enjoy, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's extras that we could let go of. I have bought my gasoline at Speedway most of the time. And I collect these points, and almost every morning, I can go there and get a free cup of coffee. But the problem with that is there's gas station food there. And gas station food
it's horrible for you.
It's terrible. Now, Danny B is giving us some information here. I'll hand wash a dozen loads of laundry as long as I can keep cool doing it. Well, I
think that's where we're different. Me and Danny are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a way for me to discipline myself so that I go into these joints and just get the coffee and get out. But making that at home and using the awesome percolator that we have, we love that thing.
Yeah.
It has just been such a great thing for our compost pile. It's been such a great thing for us. And I just
the
feel
best
like,
thing we ever did was to get rid of the Keurig.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like maybe if you're the only person
or in an office,
in your
maybe,
house, or you're in an office or something like that. But we both drink coffee, and now we have a middle school boy that wants to drink it too.
Oh,
so,
Lord help us.
And then we have another one coming up that we told them they had to be in middle school before they could have coffee.
Absolutely.
And they just entered their school year, and so now my 11-year-old is going, I get coffee now too.
Yeah.
So I told him he could have it at church, and then found out that was a mistake.
Yeah. Our streaming rate is slowing down, so if we run into any problems, we'll let you know. But let us know if you can't see us or if we freeze again.
Danny B says Heather, you and I have a lot in common, but apparently heat tolerance isn't one of it. Well, it's funny because I think my family in Texas, they have a very high heat tolerance. They showed a picture where it was 70 degrees out, and her kids were sitting out on the back porch in hats, scarves, coats, and gloves. And I'm 70 degree is short weather here, but then again, it's colder in Michigan where you are. So, you know.
We ditched the Keurig and got a stovetop percolator.
That's what we did. Yep.
Banana Grandma says I keep pour hot water heater. I don't know what that means. A keep pour hot water heater set so the water can be used for a hot shower without adding cold. It saves a lot of money. Why overheat so you have to add cold water? Okay. The keep pour is what I'm not sure what that is, but I'd love to hear more about it. The ways that we can live simply, and the ways that we can cool ourselves down simply, and just bring things down to a more simple living. And that book is drawing it out of me. That book is opening my mind up to simple living. And for those of us that don't live simply, I would challenge us to kind of check ourselves. So let's see. I do the same thing with my water heater. Okay, let's read this again because I'm not following this. I keep pour hot water heater set so the water can be used for hot shower without adding cold. It saves a lot of money.
I think she's talking about her temperature setting.
Oh, okay.
So she has it set at a certain place where you're only using the hot water and you're not using cold too.
Okay.
I think is what she's saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes good.
Okay.
That
My
makes a lot of
dad
sense.
used to do that. He used to have it set at the temperature of like showers.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, with 6 people in the family and we all like showers, I have my this is from Phil. Bandana. I have my water heater set like that for 40 years. If it wasn't a well system, I would have a on-demand water heater.
Yeah.
Homestead the Pioneer Way. I have the campfire coffee pots, living the Pioneer Way. Yes, and I love those things. And I'll be honest with you, there's a part of me that in the morning should be out at our keyhole fire pit heating up my coffee that way to save energy, and I haven't been. And so those are little ways that we could just live simply. One of the I looked up in the book. One of the things they call in UK a small farm is a small holding, and in Australia it's called a hobby farm if it's around 5 acres. There are eco villages. And there are also communes that they talk about in this book. Now, a commune is a little different, where everything is shared. And there's creepy communes, and there's okay communes. But that word it
makes me think of the Manson family.
Yeah, it just makes me feel weird. And I'm not sure. I think you got to get away from that. I like the idea of eco villages. Eco village is the idea that you live in this kind of combined living acreage, and you all have your own houses, but you go to the community garden and you help each other raise food, raise animals, milk everything, do everything that you're supposed to do, and you share the load together. And I'll be honest with you, when we talk about that, it reminds me of the Acts 2 church, which I won't go into, but it's where they shared everything and they supported one another. Mm-hmm. But for the purposes of this book, it was just the idea of sharing material goods, from things that you can knit and sew all the way up to things that you eat and even energy sources. So
I think my chicken broth is done. I can start smelling it.
Oh yeah, that's one thing is when you've walked into the house over the last couple of days, it has smelled incredible because Heather makes her own chicken stock, and it's starting to smell like chicken soup in here, and it's making me hungry.
I do it in a crock pot, so it cooks kind of all day, and then it can I let it sit overnight. But I'll
homesteading the Pioneer Way. I wish I lived like that. I don't think that there's I don't think that there is a time when how am I trying to say this?
Yeah.
If we are in community with one another, and if we are meeting each other and getting to know each other.
That's the Amish way.
That's the Amish way,
That is true. The Amish do
Yeah.
live like that. Because, I was telling Kevin, I'm like, it's kind of hard because a lot of times in this community, people can, like, kind of barter with each other. Like, I know how to do plumbing work. You know how to do carpentry work. Why don't we work together? And, I can do some stuff for you. You can do stuff for me. But what do you do when your husband's in the ministry? Like, do you need married? Do you need buried? What do you need?
Well, and you can't go and sell Jesus. That's not okay.
Yeah,
that's just going to get you in trouble,
that just is frowned upon. So.
Hold on, Colleen Palmer and Feather Homestead. They've got some things going on here.
Okay.
Before we moved here, we had a community garden, but people stole from it and they shut it down.
Oh,
well, that's not very nice. That's not very nice at all.
Sometimes people can be stupid.
Yeah. What we make cowboy coffee in the pot. We double the grounds and slow perk. No scorchy. Then we put this concentrated mud into good thermoses and add to your cup and top with hot water. That's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Danny B says we only have 2 jars of stock left. Gotta make more. We make 2 giant electric turkey roasters to make ours, so we put it up a ton at once.
I had one of those at one time, and I got rid of it because I didn't know what to use it for. This is before we started doing stuff like that. So I have a pretty good sized crock pot, but I do like 2 carcasses at a time.
Yep.
And what I'll do is, like, because we don't have meat birds yet, I get chickens from Costco, and it's actually less expensive for me to buy them there where the rotisserie chicken's already cooked than it is for me to buy one, cook it, roast it in the oven, stuff like that. It's just, like, it'll cost me $6 to get a chicken at Aldi's and $4.99 to get one at Costco. And the one at Aldi's isn't cooked yet.
Right.
It's still frozen.
Right.
So we'll just pick all the meat off the bones, and I'll get like 3 meals out of one chicken, and then throw the bones into a crock pot. And the reason I'm making it is because we actually ran out of chicken broth, and I was looking for it, and I had to buy it the other day, and I was like,
Absolutely.
So.
We are, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. Am I a preacher? I am a pastor, and I've worked with a couple of different denominations. Right now, I'm technically not licensed anywhere, so I guess if I needed to do something pastoral, like marry someone, I wouldn't be licensed to do that. But in my heart, I've always been a pastor, and where I work right now looks at me as a director, and I'm put in many pastoral roles. So,
but he has been in the past.
Yes,
like he's
for
been
16
ordained.
years.
And with the church that we were at before, with the church that we are at now, there's a process that he has to go through.
Yeah.
And so, in order for him to get to that point, so he's going to be going. We've already started kind of that process.
Henfed is asking, do you not have church funding to pay your utility bills? Well, here's the thing. When I get a salary from the church, and youth ministry is not a lucrative business. It is what it is.
We do it because we love young people, not because it's you're going to be rolling in the dough.
Yeah, and
that's just where his heart is. He especially middle school kids. He really likes middle school kids.
And we will, as we go, we'll be able to stand on our own as we move forward. And in the next 3 months, we'll be telling you more about where the Goin Batty clan is going to be going and what's going to be going on. But what we're really trying to that's kind of cool. All right, so Homestead the Pioneer Way, we're in the ministry. We have a home church and go from house to house like the early church did. I think that's awesome, and I think that's how we share each other's burdens. I wanted to go back to Danny B's comment. We keep bags in the freezer, and anytime we have chicken, the bone go in there, and then we make a ton of stock when there is enough. Mm-hmm. I never buy stock again. Homemade is so much better.
It is so much
better. I could not
better.
agree more.
We use it for everything. And anytime not like a sweet recipe, but if you're cooking rice or you're cooking, stuff like that, I always use chicken stock. I never use water in it anymore.
Homesteading the Pioneer Way, I completely agree with you. That is the way the early church did it. And I think it's a great way for us to live in community with one another. They just I think it's got to be about the people. it's not a building. It's about the people that are in community with one another, and that's why this homesteading crowd has been such a blessing to us, because we've seen God do a ton of things through you in our lives, and some of you we've met face to face, others we have not.
Danny B, we've met her.
Yeah,
She's
Jam at the Nut House,
and her husband Brian. They are just incredible people.
We're looking forward to meeting others as we get connected even more. My heart is. Well, I guess it goes back to what we were talking about the bartering. Yeah. As a pastor and as a director of youth ministry, there aren't a lot of particular trade skills that I've developed that say, hey, I can trade you for carpentry, or I can trade you for this, or trade you for that. And so what happens is we have eggs, and we have chickens, and we have a garden, and we have some great things going on. Heather's an amazing cook, and so through those things, we are finding ways to barter and to be in community. Now, Pam Walker has a question, and I absolutely love it when Pam Walker asks a question. I have a question. What do you think is the best Bible to read? Oh my goodness. Well, I have a lot of opinions on this, so I'm going to share mine. I think there are others that might disagree with me, but it's not their live stream, it's mine. The best Bible to read, in my opinion, is the New Living Translation. But let me back up, and that's just my personal opinion. The closest translation to the Bible is the New American Standard Version.
Like the original.
The original text, the original Aramaic, and I just feel like that's. I don't mean the King James version. I mean the New American Standard Version. King James is a little bit different because it uses a little bit different and older language. But I think there's value in that too. So I'm not putting down other translations. I'm just saying in the world of Kevin, this is the Bible these are the Bibles that I use regularly. When I have to study and I had to write papers, I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Christian Ministries, and as I was writing my final papers, I would go straight to the New American Standard Version, and that's where our professors asked us to read out of. Then when I would preach and I would teach out of the NIV, the New American Standard Version.
No.
I'm sorry, the new
the NIV.
NIV. Sorry, what did I say?
The New American.
Yeah,
you're getting confused.
The New International Version. Sorry. And so when I personally read, I like the flow of the New Living Translation, but that's just me. And I think if we're going to get into a theological debate, I'd rather be armed with the New American Standard Version than I would any of the others, because it gives you so much to think about. So that is feeding my ADD completely, and I think that's, I'm reading, sorry.
Right. They were talking about their chicken stock.
Yeah, I love it.
So, yeah.
I love it. Keep talking. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about tonight. So that's my take on Bibles. That's not to say that I don't like the King James version or that it doesn't have value. It's just in the world of Kevin. That's what I'm thinking. What else are we going to talk about? The complete off-grid sustainable living, where you're washing your own clothes by hand, you're not using refrigeration, you're freeze drying, or you're dehydrating and canning, all that stuff. Absolutely fantastic, and there's a part of it that's very attractive. When I look at that in the context of Goin Batty, it is not something that I believe we could sustain. What we don't want to do is 5 years from now, or 3 years from now, or 2 years from now, we just can't keep this going. And we're going to walk away. Box Lover, aka Valerie, finds it hard to read the King James Version. I do too, and that's why I think I like that. I think that's why I like the NLT. I think that's why I kind of make progression toward the tougher ones. To start with something simple and move closer to it. But anyway, what I was going to say was, oh yeah, when we talk about sustainability, we want to be doing this the rest of our lives, and we want to teach it to our kids. And what I've heard from guys like Zach and from Brad, these guys are guys that I look up to. Even the Tiny House Prepper.
Yeah.
What is Tiny House Prepper's name?
His name's Bill.
Bill, thank you.
Bill and Elizabeth.
Bill and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
What we're seeing from them, all of these folks, is what is going to be sustainable to the point where my kids move out of the house. We're not going to push them towards college. We're going to push them towards their passions. I don't need them to be in a 4-year program
And $100,000 in debt before they ever have their first job.
Yeah.
Or their first, once they graduate college.
Exactly.
I mean, they can.
If that's what they
their
want,
choice.
that's a choice they make. And Lord knows we don't want to get in the way of that. But how are we going to be living 10 years from now? That's what I want to know. And are we still going to be able to do sustainable living then and go, we really did it right. We really saved money. And there are some things that we're going to do as a team, Heather and I being a team and working together, that I think are things that are going to help us long term. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to do some stuff Heather's not going to do. I'm going to cook on open flame. I may burn everything at first, but I'm going to learn how to do it well.
That's okay. I catch myself on fire when I cook over open flame. So
she lets me do it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
She's not going to wash clothes the way Jamie does in an American homestead, but that doesn't mean she's not of the homestead mindset. It just means she's not going to go to that extreme.
And it's not that I don't admire that, because I look at her and I go, wow, that is...
That's cool.
They are dedicated to what, and I just, like, right now we're just not at that place. We're just not.
Now, here's where I would go that Heather would not go. In this context, we have one bathroom.
I am not pooping in a bucket. I'm not.
Now, let me bring this.
I'm not. I am not pooping in a bucket.
My son is still at his first job 18 years now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Colleen, he just goes batty, lol. Okay, that's awesome. Uh-oh, we're gone again. Now we're back. Oh, dude, he just dropped us completely. All right, let's do take 3, because I'm not done yet. No one has to stay on if they don't want to. Wait, something's happening. We're gonna try to stay on. I don't know if the stream's getting better or worse, but we're gonna try to stay on. And just let us know if we're not cutting the mustard here. Okay, they seem to be back. Maybe we're gone. I don't know. It's frustrating because we don't know if you're hearing us or not, guys. And we're sorry, because we want you to be a part of it. We want to have a great live chat. It looks like the stream is bad, and we're gonna have to.
Can you hear us, Kate, on there?
I see some of the live streaming going on, but I'm not getting a whole lot of feedback. It looks like the stream went bad on us. It's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So you guys are going to experience a little buffering, and I'm sorry about that. Hopefully we can get it.
No, it's still on for me.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, thanks,
Danny B is with you. She says no buckets. Now, let's pause for a second. My wife isn't going to do that. I get that fully. Now, let's back up to what we can do to help each other out. My wife is in the bathroom. My daughter is in the bathroom. We have one bathroom. My boys are in the bathroom, and I have to go. Here's the sacrifice I make as the dad. I go to the composting toilet and I can go to the bathroom whenever I want, and I don't have to wait for the bathroom to open up. See the sacrifices I make as a dad? I throw some wood chips in there, and it smells like we have a hamster. That's all.
I don't think so.
I like washing my own tubs and rub board, and I poop in a bucket. LOL. Homestead, the pioneer way. Oh, yes. And Bandana says, we heard everything you said, and I probably owe people apologies. Is that tiny house prepper? Yes.
Yes.
The glitch is in the Matrix. You're good. Keep going. You're here. Hey, Pat Ritchie is with us. Hi, Pat. And so I will be more than happy to do that. And when the emergency comes, and back when we first lived in our first house, we had what was it? A huge Sunday windstorm. It was a hurricane that was blowing up through the continent.
I believe it was Hurricane Charlie.
And it came up.
So it's been that long.
And those winds hit our town. We were out of power for 2 weeks, folks.
I had my wisdom teeth pulled that week, so
Yeah.
I was out of power and all drugged up.
And I was cooking.
And it was Katie's birthday too.
Yeah.
So it was.
And I was cooking on a camping stove, and so I would say this: when the emergency comes, we're prepared. She may not do it now, but what happens when the water won't run? What happens when we don't have the electricity to flush? Phil, Kevin in the country, you'll just go behind the barn or a tree. Hey, I will. I'm not. I do it now, but I don't have a little granny seat to.
We don't poop in the yard.
Well, we might. Is all I'm saying.
You have to
dig a hole
first and then poop in the yard.
And then poop in the yard. I'm just saying this. We'll be prepared in that scenario, and we'll be ready. Now, I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm very optimistic.
Homesteading the pioneer way is building an outhouse.
See, ? Kevin, Colleen, now let's keep it clean. We're family friendly. And so, she creatively said a bad word. So let's just keep it family friendly.
Our daughter's sitting here.
Yeah. But you're right. I do. So we're, I love that you're building an outhouse. I think that's great. I have not experienced full-on homesteading in the way that I would do it, but if it means I don't have to wait for the bathroom, rock on. If there's no other option, I'll use a bucket, and so be it. As long as there is a better option, I will remain bucketless. I hear you, Danny B. I feel that even though I'm not a huge end of the world kind of guy, I don't think there's anything when the water is gone, they will be standing in line for your bucket. Then I'll have 2 buckets. We'll be a 2-bucket family, Bandana Grandma, because I am tired of waiting. I mean, we can buy 5-gallon buckets anywhere. Do what you have to do when the time comes. That's right. So anyway, our stream is going back and forth and up and down, and we're not done. We're going to hang out even longer, so if we're annoying you and you have to leave, I totally understand. And we're going to stick for a while with this one because I don't have everything said that I want to say.
You're very windy tonight.
I am. I have a lot on my head. And they're still talking. So if you need to pop in and pop out, go for it. We've been going 48 minutes on this stream.
Okay.
Now we did 20 minutes on the first take.
Okay.
So that's 68 minutes?
Yeah. An hour and 8
An hour and 8 minutes.
Okay.
So I don't feel that bad about going an hour and 8 minutes, but I guess the things that I want to talk about being off grid is we're going to find our sweet spot. And when we find our sweet spot, it's time to challenge ourselves out of it because then we get too comfortable. I think that there is I think there is a time and a place for us to be thrifty. I think there's a time and a place for us to be investing. Today we had to buy a new electric chicken netting, chicken fencing, and so we had to spend that money to protect the chickens that we have. It was well worth it. By the way,
you have to put them away.
Excuse me, just 1 second. Calling all batty kids. You got to go put the chickens away. Katie, we go get the boys and get them on that. It's dusk out, and they have. They're gonna have to go put the chickens away, and that'll give us some time to talk alone. No, but we've got some new chicks in the mix, and so everybody's got to go out and get the new chicks put into the Conestoga wagon. But that's something we gotta do. Did you go tell the boys? Are they headed out? Mm-hmm. All right, good. I just hate to have to go to use the bucket, LOL. Okay, that's really funny. So anyway, I feel like we have to keep challenging ourselves. We have to keep finding new ways of homesteading that'll challenge us where we are and growing into it. So anyway, I guess that's it. That's the end of that topic. There are some other things that were as interesting as we were evaluating our financial situation and our ability to live off grid. We had looked at a lot of different options. Our stream has gone bad again. But we had thought about buying land and then building on it later. We had thought about doing a bunch of other things. One of the places that we found was in Kansas, and it was a place where Matthew 9:36, keeping it clean, folks. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I gotta look it up now. Colleen, let's see what Matthew 9:36 says. But one of the things we found was in Kansas and Alaska and in the Dakotas, they will actually give you free land to move there and to live there. They're going to go put up the ducks there at Hen Feather Homestead. So I'm going to look up that verse right now. Let's see, 23 or 36. 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. Begin. All right. So it says, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Okay, there you go. I feel that too. I still see and hear you fine. Good. Like I said, if you get bored, by all means, you can shut us off, and you won't hurt my feelings. But there were some things that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I'm not through all of them. And Heather will be back with me in just a second. So anyway, they actually give you land, and I looked it up, and it was back in the housing that when they were having all the housing issues, and it was like 2012. So I don't know if that still exists or not. But from my vantage point, whatever we're blessed with is where we need to be content, and we're going to be looking for different streams of income. We're going to be looking for different ways of building Goin Batty into not just a channel, but into a company, like I mentioned at the beginning of this whole kind of freestyle live stream. And one of the things we have is we have the Goin Batty store. It's goinbattystore.com. The other thing we have is we have an Amazon affiliate, which means if you go to shop on Amazon, click on our link and it helps our family out. And so that's another income stream. And then we're also going to be working with other companies, and one of the companies that I'm really excited about is Thrive Life, and that's going to come in the future. So we're going to talk about that more too. But there are some ways that we're going to bring extra income into our family. Goin Batty, no TV, Gray Wolf Homestead, thank you. We're glad you're here. And so we're going to look for other income streams to help supplement my my salary as a pastor, and that way we can begin building some sustainability in our wealth outside of just what we get from me as a director of for what we do. So anyway, I think that's my heart is to kind of take Goin Batty to the next level, and just see where it goes. So we're gonna have some new things up on the website, but I do want to show you something that my wife has made that's just awesome. This is a bag that she crocheted together, and look inside. It's got cloth inside, so your stuff won't fall through the cracks. Oh, awesome, Brian. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. This is a great thing. This is going to have something to do with a video that we're going to do that's important. We are going to do a contest, and we're going to put a contest out, a contest video out, and it has to do with this bag, so you'll want to pay attention to that. We're also, let's see, we also have aprons on the Goin Batty store. Katie is raising money for a missions trip right now, and any apron that is sold on our Goin Batty channel, that money goes to Katie's her need for funds on this trip. So she's saying if you have any apron suggestions, by all means give them to us. Put them on the live feed, put them down in the comments below, and we will get to it for sure. If when you buy an apron, that we make sure that money goes to Kate and her desire to go out and do a little bit of good servant stuff. It's funny, as a guy, we only are allotted by the Lord a certain amount of words per day. And when it gets to be around 9 o'clock at night, I can feel that allotment of words slimming down to nothing, and I start running out of words. Let me answer a few. Kathy Hobson Kidder, how are you? What was your site to buy products? I just came online at the end of you talking about it. We are goinbattystore.com, and it should be in the link. Let's see here. Hey, Jam at the Nut House, how are you? They're doing good. They're shelling peas and watching. Love that. And I told Heather that this was going to be a impromptu freestyle Friday, and boy, it sure has turned into that. We have a lot to talk about when we get off on our tangents, and I have a lot to talk about. So when you have time, by all means, feel free to check out our website. Bandana Grandma just now got noticed for your apple pie video. Way to go. So I know there's some great cooking videos out there, and we need to check each other out and see where they are. But the Goin Batty Kitchen, we created a playlist, and you can hit that and just go through and watch all of them. So Jam at the Nut House, we're glad you're with us. What else? So this is the self-sufficiency on a shoestring. We will have all of this stuff on links below where you can go and check out this stuff and kind of read up on it. But it's really been educating for me. It's really kind of teaching me a new way of life, and that we don't have to live the keeping up with the Joneses life. It's okay to work, and it's okay to have business, and it's okay to do that stuff. And I don't think we need to apologize for it. And that's kind of the weird thing with homesteading. In some of the circles that I've lived in, I have felt embarrassed at times and shouldn't have. And I was wrong for that. And I apologize to the homesteading community because I was ignorant. to the fact that we should be celebrating homesteading instead of hiding it, or not talking about it under the table or something like that. Let's see. Box Lover, you mean for the live stream or the video that followed? I took the live stream down and edited it and only made it public about 30 minutes ago. So there you go. And I was a little bit embarrassed about the fact that we were, learning how to homestead. Now, I don't think you could shut me up about it. And I really don't care about who knows it. Matter of fact, I try to draw them into it and go, how could you be a part of it? And so those are things that have been on my heart and things that I've wanted to talk about. It's funny, we really are good as a team, and so when Heather's not here, there's a little bit of a lull in the conversation. It sounds like they're coming back in, so you'll get to see them one more time, and we'll get to hear the story of how they put the chickens away. So here they are now, they're back.
Yeah.
And I think it went, we'll hear how it went.
It went good. They
So you say to the folks on the live stream,
I've got chicken on it.
she's got to wash her hands because she's got chicken on it, and the boys were there, so they come in and say hi real quick. Say hi.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. This is Jack. Cool. All right. Cool. Thank you. And Miles is lurking back there somewhere. I think I see him. He's washing his hands too.
Hey guys, can we put away the food here?
We just get all the chicken. Here's Miles. Good.
This needs to be put
Good
in a
job.
smaller dish, please.
So, so how'd it go? How did the chickens do?
They went fine. We only had 2 of them that weren't in the wagon.
Okay.
So we picked those up, put them in, and everyone else was already in there roosting. So
Even the little ones? Wow. What were the 2 ones that weren't in there?
it was that really pretty white one.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, can we
Stubborn.
bring the volume down a little bit?
Stubborn.
Yeah, she's being stubborn.
What about the other one?
And the other one was one of those Dixie Rainbows.
Did you get the one out of the chicken tractor too?
Yeah, we put her in.
We had a chicken. This is one of our newer birds. It's an Americana, and
Brian's here.
hey, yeah, he came in while you were there. Hey, Christian,
okay.
how are you, man? We had one of the birds clamp onto our new electric fence, and it bit it with its beak, and it couldn't let go, and it burnt a divot in the side of its beak, and it looked dead for a second. And so Max came and got me, and when we got back out there, it was alive again and moving, but it looked really red. It looked like it had gotten its eggs scrambled, if you know what I'm saying. The bird came out of it, but we dipped it in water to kind of wake it up, to bring it up a little bit, to kind of get it going again. And so we're waiting to see if she really survives it.
She seemed to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That word is incredible, Colleen Palmer. Greek splagionomizomini. To feel compassion. Awesome. Love it. Brian B says hi, Heather.
Hey, Brian.
Christian says hi, Katie B. And we're all glad you're here.
It was a shocking experience for the bird. I bet it was. Well, I mean, it's kind of, we have to be careful because we actually had, a squirrel?
Yep.
That grabbed a hold of the fence, and it shocked it enough that it did kill it because we found it holding onto the fence like this. So that was kind of weird.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
Jam in the nut house.
Yes, she was here earlier. Yep.
I missed
Franken
that.
chicken.
Franken
That's
chicken.
right. That's
yes. Right. Just brought it back to life. It needs little bolts in the side of its neck.
Yep. Anyway, that's good. I'm glad that everybody's doing good there.
Why is my bag over here?
Well, because we were talking about it.
Oh.
We were talking about that you made it, and we were showing it off, and how it has something to do with the contest. I haven't told them any details about the contest.
But that's my bag.
I thought well, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the contest.
Well,
I thought it was
no,
going to have
it
stuff to
can.
do with the contest.
It can.
All right. Well,
It's my first bag that I made.
It's the first bag she made, so maybe your second bag you can keep, and we'll give that one away.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I went on a rant and now I'm back and I've lost track of my thoughts. So we're well over time.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Yes, absolutely. But it was funny because its eyes were really wide and it was really awake, and I'm glad it's back.
It's not
and
really that funny.
yeah, it was kind of scary actually. Max was freaked out.
Yeah, he came running in the house. He's like, "Mom!" I'm like,
yeah,
what?
the squirrel that we found the next morning, that was incredibly.
That one was a little funny.
That was
not to be mean to the squirrel.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
My goodness, do you have a couple thousand volts running through that fence line? We don't. And Don and Terry, I actually touched it with my hand, but because they're so small, squirrel. Because they're so small, it's going to affect them differently than it would, me, who's, a
fuller figured gal.
Fuller figured fella. So, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of what we wanted to talk about tonight. And I don't have too much more. I would love to hear some questions from everybody that's on the live chat before we go away. There is a lot that we could still talk about. I love this book. I think I'm going to read it a couple times just to get my brain around it more. But yeah, feel free to shoot us some questions on the live stream if you have any questions. Hopefully Lone Star left and went on a date with his wife already. I feel bad.
It was a date. It was a date day. He was saying. He came back to do the live stream, and his wife went to go do a little shopping, and then she was coming back. So
gotcha.
Yeah, hopefully he's not here right now because we don't
should
want to get him in trouble.
Yeah. So, anyway, hey, Hen Feather Homestead's back.
Did she get her ducks in?
She got her ducks put away. That's good. Yeah. There we go.
All right.
I think that's all we got.
I guess there's no questions.
Our stream is going bad, and if you guys don't have any questions, we're going to sign off here in just a second. Not yet, but in just a second.
Because there is a delay.
Because there is a delay, and we want to see if there are any questions. We've stayed on pretty long, and we've kept everyone's at bay. And stay tuned because we're going to announce what the contest is. That's funny. Don and Terry, you're awesome. You had asked us earlier when we're coming to visit, and we are excited to meet you and to meet others around us.
Is she going to be at the thing on?
Well, I don't know that. We haven't talked about that yet. We need to talk about that before we go. Who wrote this book? There's going to be a link down at the end of this where you can click on our Amazon link and go right to it. So I'll make sure that it's on there and you guys can check it out. We do have a P.O. box and an email, and that stuff will be at the bottom of this after we get offline here. I'll make sure all of that stuff is on there.
I think it's in our information.
Yeah, if you look
on.
Yeah, if you go to goinbatty.com, that's our website. We blog there, and it has a lot of our links to everything that we do. I don't write as much as I'd like to, but
you haven't had time.
Don and Terry. So I guess you did your second part of the live streams, and I never got notified for that and found it by accident. Just stay on all night. Who wrote the book? Who wrote the book? The book is
Alan and Gil Bridgewater.
Self-Sufficiency on a Shoestring by Alan and Gil Bridgewater. Recipes for a new and fun free lifestyle. So again, no, don't go. That's sweet. We got to get some questions from you guys. So that we can do some more talking. Here's a question: why do you have to go? Okay, that's not funny.
Because it's nearly 10 o'clock and I turn into a pumpkin after 10 o'clock. I'm the mother of 4, so I have no energy after 10.
Yeah, we're giving YouTube a run for their money. I mean, we've been on here a long time. We're marathoning it, so that's not a bad thing. We're just I'm getting sleepy, and I have a. So we want to talk about a couple things. One is we want to talk about June 3rd. June 3rd is a great opportunity for community, but I want to talk to you guys about the aspect of it.
So Donna, I hope to see you there on June 3rd.
Yes, a lot of you there.
Because I have a feeling you don't live too far away from us.
the idea of community is that
That was a
we
loud
have
semi that
that
just
was a
went
loud
by.
car truck. We just had a big truck go by our house. I need to make those dryer balls. Thank you for sharing that. Is Pastor
Only wearing one sock. Actually, that was my sock because he hates those kind of socks, like the longer tube socks. And I wear those with my sloggers because they they don't slide down into my boots. So
Two.
yeah, he's
I
got
got
two
two.
socks on. So.
June 3rd is community, and I want to talk about the idea of networking in your area. I love the community that YouTube brings to us. I love the community that we can be here on a Friday night hanging out with you guys over the internet. We've had a busy day. We didn't even get to see our friends over at Big Family Homestead, and this is usually the day where we go and we crash their party.
But we were supposed to go visit the Resistance chicks today, but they had some
and
issues
we'll
going on.
we'll get to see them too. But I think there is such a huge benefit in creating community on YouTube like this.
Terrible
but-
date. I can't come.
I'm so sorry, Bandana. But there'll be other dates where you can.
Yes.
And so we celebrate that. But what about the folks in your area who are homesteading as well, and how do you connect with them? As Brad and I talked about this, and as he kind of laid out, Florida is too far away. As he kind of laid out the vision and the idea for the get together, we really thought about the idea of helping others do what we're trying to do, which is have community and the homesteading and like-mindedness. And if anything else, maybe we can help to share with you how we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're finding people that are like-minded. We are reaching out to folks that are homesteaders and saying, hey, it's okay if you know nothing. Come on with us and we'll learn together, because I certainly don't know it all.
Too far to come from California. That's Valerie Boxer Lover.
Yeah, probably. But if you drive now,
Yeah, you might get, or if you start. Well, no, even if she started walking, she wouldn't get here. So,
yeah.
but one thing I think is interesting is like I've seen bits and pieces of that happening. Like Bandana Grandma, she lives somewhere close to Homestead Tessie.
Right.
They got together. Now I know from our live stream there has been besides Bandana Grandma, there are 3 other people in our Tuesday night live stream who are
Absolutely.
from Maryland. 2 of them are from Hagerstown.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
drove through Hagerstown when we
Yep.
when we would come home from Maryland.
Yeah.
So you just finding the people who are there, and I know like if you live in California or Texas or something, like that's a big state. Those are
Yeah.
big states.
They are.
And it's sometimes harder to get together because if
Yeah.
you live on the north side of California and somebody else lives on the south side, then that's a whole lot of driving that has to be done.
And you have to set up an event where you can test the waters to see if you even like each other.
Yeah,
Because
true.
you might be homesteaders, and we're kicking something here.
Yay! Donna Terry's going to be there on the 3rd.
What I was going to say is, even though you guys may be of the same mindset in homesteading, what if you don't like each other? And having a community get together where everybody's together, you can feed off of each other's personalities. The introverts can still be introverts. It's funny.
Which is funny because we are actual introverts.
We're both introverts.
So if you meet us in person, and we're in crowds, we're not purposely trying to be rude to you. We just don't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah,
we're better one-on-one with people.
We're in big crowds. We get skittish like our chickens do. We bought property right next to my sister for just that reason. We want to build our homestead community. Jam at the Nut House says it's difficult to find people who are like-minded here. I had a bad experience with reaching out. Well, it is the beauty of YouTube that we have had a chance to get to know each other, and we had the opportunity to hang out. So I am so, we were so blessed by meeting you, Jen, and we look forward to connecting through YouTube. And like I said, I want to come out to California. I want to see what the West Coast is like, and I bet if I'm really good, I could talk my wife into going with me. I think, you have to be careful in reaching out to people. I think that you have to be wise about who you let into your world. And I think it's important that when you do it with some boundaries and some guardrails on either side. Tessie and I clicked. She is my new adopted daughter. That's great.
She's
Great.
really sweet.
Just
I
sub
love
to
watching her stuff.
you. Just sub to Katie B. Looking forward to updates and see. Well, it's funny. We talked with Katie about some boundaries on YouTube, and so unfortunately, you guys are gonna have to wait a little while. We're not going to put her on her own YouTube channel quite yet. We want to have a few more boundaries around that. So Box Lover says, yes, California is 840 miles long, and I'm at the top of it. Sweet. So that'll be a whole trip right there. Danny B says, Brian and I are both total introverts. We try to put ourselves out there and leave our little shells, but it goes against our natural instinct. Yeah, it does us too.
I totally feel you on that one because, and it's interesting because when I met you, like you're a lot like I am, where it's like 1-on-1 or 1-on-2. We're okay, but I have a feeling if you put us in a very large crowd of people, we'll be like,
yes.
It's two people out here, what's going on?
Yes. And that's what I think is important about these smaller gatherings is that we can just have fellowship and we can get to know one another on a personal level. And so I don't know what June the 3rd is going to be like, but we're going to work real hard to meet everybody. In my earlier post is that I do not homestead. Don't forget me. What I tried to say in my early post is that I do not homestead. That's okay too, because I think there's still room in the community for folks that don't. So it's not a club. There's no fee to join. It is friendship and community around the ideas that we've been talking about. Brian B, I think you guys being introvert and Danny B and I are introverts. I think that is why we got along well with you guys. Exactly. Top half is the most beautiful. All right.
Of California.
Yep. Donna, I am an urban homesteader. That's Hen Feather Homestead. Awesome. So, June the 3rd is important. What was the other thing we needed to... tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I do a devotional Bible study, and I'd love to have you guys join me. I know we've got a lot of things going on Saturday. We all do. But we're notching out that time to talk about God's Word, and we'll be in Philippians starting in chapter 12. Here in a minute I'm going to get off and I'm going to read that because I want to be ready for the morning. But
Jesus up.
Get my Jesus on.
Yep.
I would really love it if you join us. It would just mean the world to me if you could just hang out with us, and Heather will be watching the live stream and I'll be preaching the gospel.
And I can finally comment on it. He finally we had our settings so that my name wouldn't show up, so I would be like greeting people as they were coming in, and like no one said hi to me. I'm like, nobody loves me, which is awful. But now I can actually say hi to people.
That's right, and we gave her a wrench, so she's even like scarier. So anyway, I just wanted to invite you guys to that. There are some videos coming up where I'm going to be talking about faith, and I'm going to be talking about growing deeper in our walk with God, and we'll be doing some of that in the future and as we move forward. Service projects, yes, Colleen Palmer, I agree with that. Just that general statement of service projects we're in, and I think that's a great way to build community too. So us getting all together and doing something together. So I'm actually going to pray for us. We're going to log off now, guys. I'm starting to feel it. And I just want to say wow, that's a lot. Let me read this real quick. As homesteaders, we are all doing about the same things. I'm thinking about the Thrive Life foods, but want to try something before I make the leap. Can we barter something for a sample pack of Thrive? Yes. But we don't have any yet, so
it's coming.
It's coming.
Shipped.
It's being shipped to us. We are going to get into Thrive Life and
What
make
time
it a part of our
tomorrow?
business.
Grey Wolf Ask is at 10:30.
Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time.
10:30, Kate, not 10. 10:30.
10:30. Thank you, Bandana Grandma. I am so blessed by you saying that. I had just a great time last week talking about the Bible, and so that's where Thrive Life raspberries are good. If you can, check out the links that we leave below in the comments section, because when you guys click on those, it helps our family out, and share the Goin Batty journey with other people. That helps our family out. We are in no way desiring to be YouTube rock stars. We are simply wanting to share our journey in homesteading with you awesome and incredible folks. So whatever we can do to support you, please let us know. I know there's some of you that have some pretty big prayer concerns going on, and we'll be praying for those. But I'm just going to close this in prayer. Thanks for joining us for Friday Freestyle. We might do this again. Keep an eye out, and we'll see. Like I mentioned when Heather was gone, I'm running out of words. It's getting smaller and smaller, so I'm going to use the rest of them up with prayer. So let's go to the Lord. If praying's not your thing, just hang out and listen. It's okay. Or not. Father God, we thank you so much for the love that you share with us. And Lord, I thank you so much for these awesome people and their hearts for you, their hearts for homesteading. Lord, all that you're doing in their life, we just pray for your hand and your guidance and your wisdom as they walk through it. Lord, be with the prayer concerns that are happening. And thanks for this blessed time. Thanks for this time on this live chat where we could get together and hang out. So thank you for all that you give us. Thanks for what you did on the cross. And it's in your son's precious name we pray. Amen. All right, guys.
Two Family Homestead just joined us, and now we're at the very end.
Oh, Two Family Homestead. We're going to go to bed now. I'm so sorry. I want someone to do some of their eggs and tell their experience.
Thrive Life, it's probably...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Still waiting on that deep dish strawberry pie video.
That is coming. I have to go to the grocery store tomorrow. So tomorrow is like Girls' Day with me and my mom and my aunt and my grandma and an adopted sister, that a friend of theirs that they've kind of adopted into the family. And so we're heading out to the grocery store, and so I will be picking up the strawberries. I even bought a new pie plate, because the one that I made, the one that you saw where it was kind of the deep dish, it was actually in a glass cake pan, and it didn't have the right edge on it, so it was really hard to...
Jeez. Sorry, Two Family Homestead.
It's okay.
But listen, there's a lot to watch, because there was take one and there was take two. You've got a lot to watch, okay?
So I have a new pie plate and everything just for that strawberry pie. So I am going to be making that. That'll probably be within the next 3 days or so.
Yep.
I'll try to get that done. So
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, guys, we're going to sign off now. Katie's going to hit the stop button, and we're going to say goodnight. So thank you, and have a great night, you guys.
Good night, everybody.